Welcome to the Think Factory podcast. We got one question for you. What keeps you up at night?
And I'm excited today to talk to Kiki Heron, who's an account manager with one of our clients and friends, Specialty Print Communications in Niles, Illinois. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm very glad to be here.
Glad to have you. You know what, and I mentioned this to you before we started, one of the reasons that I'm really excited to talk to you is that, typically we're talking to really experienced executives in print, that are coming from the C-suite. And, they've been in print for a long, long time, running their companies for a long time. But you're actually sort of at the other end of the spectrum in terms of coming in to print, relatively recently, within the last 9 years or 10 years or so. So it's exciting to talk to somebody who's a professional on that end of the spectrum. So thanks again for joining the podcast.
Yeah, I'm very excited to be here. We're seeing a lot of younger generation getting into print, and that's something that we're looking forward to fostering and growing. So I hope people can see representation in me and see that you can come in and you can be a thought leader and make a difference. So I appreciate you having me on.
That's great. I've said it a few times during podcast episodes that, some people don't really understand what print means, what the printing and packaging industries are. And I think if they could get an exposure to how things work at a company like SPC, in terms of the interesting technology and the equipment and the engineering and the planning and the artistic side, all those things sort of come together in print, that if they could see all of that, I think print would be a pretty attractive option for somebody that's looking to pick a curriculum in college or looking for their first job out of college. Wouldn't you agree?
I couldn't agree more. I got into print actually on accident. I thought that I was getting into graphic design. I chose a college major called graphic communications, so that doesn't scream print, but it ended up being a happy accident. I really liked print. I liked that it had the math and the science side instead of just being focused on the art side. So it's a really good marriage of left brain, right brain, but I didn't know about it. So it's important to get the message out to the younger generations that this is a very viable career path. There are a lot of jobs out there. It's really good, like you said, for someone who understands technology, understands engineering. I think of it as problem solving and puzzling. We have an outcome that we want to get to, and we probably have 8 different ways that we can accomplish that outcome at SPC. And my job is to figure out the best way to get it done, the most efficient way, how we're going to meet the client's schedule that they're looking for, and to get the best quality possible. So a lot of problem solving, a lot of puzzling, and you still get that art and marketing aspect.
Well, where did you go to college, by the way, for that program?
I attended Clemson University, so they are one of few print-focused programs in the country.
Excellent. And I agree 100%. It's this confluence, or maybe there's a better word for it, but it's where all these different specialties all meet. The business aspect, the engineering aspect, the planning, the artistic side. It's just a great place to start and stay, quite frankly, if you're looking for, an interesting career path. And print, everybody in print says that print is not dead, and I think they're right. Print is still important.
Absolutely. Print is not dead. We're seeing an evolution through print. We will always have elements of print that have been here for a long time and will be here for a long time. And we have elements of print that are brand new and fresh and exciting. At SPC, especially with Adam leading us, we're always getting the latest technology. And some technology we have on the print side that our marketers don't even know how to fully harness yet. So we're just here ready for them once they figure out how to use and manipulate the data that they are collecting. So it's really exciting that you kind of get both sides of that. You get the steady analog process that's always going to be there, and you get the ever-evolving technology that's taking everything to the next level, faster, more variable, more personalized, tighter turnarounds as far as timing goes for our customers. They can be in your mailbox a few days after you were, checking a product online.
Talk about some of the types of customers that you work for, and the array of things that SPC does.
It's a wide variety of customers. Most of our product is direct mail, but certainly not all of our product is direct mail. We do work for financial companies, insurance providers, retail. E-tail is actually a really big one, which we always get a kick out of because their business is online, but they're taking this very tactile, hands-on marketing approach, which we love, of course. Car companies is another large one. So we do have quite an array.
Very demanding customers, or not to say that they're not great customers to work with, but customers that have got needs and expect things on time and in full, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And, some of the work that we do, it's very critical that it gets done correctly. It is direct mail, so it's critical it gets to the correct person. So we put a lot of care and attention into that. And some of the jobs can be fairly complex. So we want to make sure we're understanding what the customer's goal is so that we can produce the job in the best way to meet their goal, or even make suggestions to alter their product so that it is even more successful in accomplishing their goal. So it can be, as simple as a postcard announcing a new store opening to a single neighborhood, or a national campaign with, pinpointed versioning for various types of pet owners across the country.
I was impressed with what you said a moment ago, Kiki, when you mentioned that a mail piece might get generated a short time after a potential customer visits a website or a landing page or whatever it is. Talk about how you folks deal with that and how you produce those products.
It is something that we're seeing more and more often, and I think that trend is going to continue. Part of that is that we have the print technology now that allows us to get something turned around and out the door very quickly while still maintaining a high level of quality. But timing is everything. So our customers, if they can access the data of when their customers are shopping for certain products, and then turn around and market based off that data as quickly as possible, they can reach their customers while they're still in that same mindset, and just have a follow-up touch to complete a transaction that hadn't been completed. Or if they're in the research process, it can be another reminder, hey, we offer the product that you're researching, that you're looking for. We're the best person to offer you that product. So we're seeing a lot of timelines move from what was once monthly is maybe now weekly, and is maybe now twice a week, or 3 times per week, just so that they can get that fast turnaround and have a very timely response with their customer.
Yeah, I think the statistics and the studies really point out how important, or how effective, I should say, the mail piece is, because of the tactile sensation that you talked about, the presentation of it. And maybe more importantly, the mail piece tends to stay around the house a lot longer than an email that drops into your email box.
Absolutely. And we offer a lot of formats that really maximize that tactile experience. So maybe it's a tip-on card that the customer can remove, and if they throw away the rest of the mailer, they keep that coupon card. Or we have one recently where it was a magnet tipped onto the mailer. So even if the customer gets rid of the mailer, they put the magnet up on their fridge, and now they always have the phone number for the business that sent them that magnet right on hand. Whereas the email, it was looked at, it's gone, but mail stays that tactile experience. We also have so many opportunities with different papers and different coatings to really accentuate that tactile experience. You could put a soft touch coating down on a piece, and it just feels so nice in your hands. And that has a powerful impact that digital marketing can't replicate.
Well, it's all part of the brand experience, because the mail piece has to match the branding and match the experience that you would expect to get from that product. And so your ability to really customize the piece to that experience is important.
Absolutely. And, we will see customers who will use a scented varnish, a tactile type of coating, like a grit that you can feel this image of sand on the piece. So there are a lot of tricks that you can kind of play into and up that experience.
Yeah, but it's all part of that psychological reaction to whatever's being mailed, right? And just knowing
Absolutely.
myself too, when you go to the mailbox, even if you see something you didn't expect, you're going to open it and you're going to take a look at what it is. And hopefully it triggers a memory of what you were shopping for, or maybe it's just going to be something that you hang on to in case you need it in the future, to your point about the magnet.
And maybe show it to a friend.
And show it to a friend. Exactly right. Exactly right. So, I have to say you're a great spokesperson for SBC, because I can tell you're excited, and I can tell you're really all about the customer experience. That's been my experience with SPC too, is that customers always come first, and they really bend over backwards to make sure that the customer is getting what it asks for, and sort of that full experience from the customer standpoint as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We're not here to print just for fun. We're here to accomplish our customers' goals. So it's always going to start with understanding what our customer wants to get to, and then we'll back up the whole process from there to make sure we have them set up for success. And we'll see a wide range of customer needs, and that's okay. We can be flexible and we can be nimble to adapt to that. If you're coming into direct mail for the first time and you're not really sure, what the steps are and what best practices are, we can really hold your hand and make suggestions and recommendations and walk you through that process if that's what you need. If you have your program buttoned up and it's been running for years and you know exactly all of the specifications that you want to aim for, we will follow your instructions to a T and get that done timely, on schedule, with high quality. If you need specialized reporting for your own internal purposes, we're happy to come up with custom reports, mail tracking, whatever it may be. So we're always just looking to understand what the customer is looking for, and we'll find a way to deliver.
That's a great message for sure. The one of the ways that you and I got introduced was because I saw a posting on LinkedIn by one of your folks, Ryan, who was celebrating your work with Girls in Print. So if you could, I'd love for you to talk about Girls in Print and what it means to you and really what it means to the industry as well.
Yeah, so that was very exciting. Girls Who Print celebrated Girls Who Print Day, and I was awarded the Rising Star Award, which is a very big honor. So Girls Who Print is led up by Deborah Korn alongside Kelly Malozzi and Pat McGrew, and they're an organization that shows representation of women in the print industry. If you've spent any time around a printer or talking to, sales people in print, you've probably seen a lot of men, especially in higher up positions. And representation just helps so much, especially when you're coming fresh out of college and you're imagining your career for yourself, to be able to see someone like you who is currently in that career makes you feel like you can achieve it as well. So that's what Girls Who Print is doing. It's bringing together women in the print industry. It's showing us all that we're not alone. There are other women in print out there. There are women in leadership roles out there. It opens the door for mentorship between women in the print industry. So it's a really great organization. I was first introduced to Deborah in college. She came and spoke to one of my classes at Clemson about different careers that are available in print, which is invaluable information to open those doors and see what your future can look like. So I've kept in touch with her ever since. Love joining the Girls Who Print webcasts and things of that nature.
So was it all about your overall experience in the industry and the things that you're doing that caught their attention in terms of the award?
Something like that. I do try and stay in touch with the industry and with the colleges programs, and I would like to always be fostering that environment for people to come in and build their careers, and see this as a viable career path for folks. So whether that's recruiting high school kids into college programs or recruiting college students into the beginning of their careers, it can take a lot of forms. We also do an internship program at SPC to bring in college students, and we rotate them through every department at the company. Because one of the things that I noticed when I was graduating college and starting my career is that I would see these roles available and have no idea what they meant. Account manager at a print company, that doesn't mean anything to me. So by having a rotational internship program, the student gets to see every single career path that we offer at SPC. So when it comes time to graduate, they either know that they want to come back and work with us in a specific position, or if they decide that we're not the best fit for them, they have a better understanding of what other career paths are available to them. So overall, I just think it's that type of connection that I strive to keep with the industry as a whole, that I suppose caught their attention and decided to give me the award. So I'm very honored.
That's pretty amazing. And it's not only good for yourself to stay connected like that, it's great for the company as well, in terms of bringing in new candidates and, new blood into the organization.
Absolutely. I have to give a shout out to Clemson because I'm not the only Clemson grad we've hired. So I think we're up to 5 now. And
Excellent.
Hopefully that number continues to rise.
Excellent. Well, you keep doing a good job at it. You'll have more need, and it's gonna happen on its own for sure.
Yep.
So, well, just in closing, Kiki, what would you, based on your experience, what would you recommend that to folks that are leaving high school and thinking about a career? What would you hope they think about? And eventually land in graphic communications and print? Like, what suggestions would you have?
Yeah, so I'm going to start from the ground up. First, I'm going to suggest that people do go and get a college education for print. I think as a high school student, you're aware of kind of the top level careers, right? Doctor, engineer, astronaut, but there's so many other career paths out there that you may not think of, like print. So just kind of start to expose yourself to those other paths. Take a leap. Print, again, really good if you have both right brain and left brain connection. You like the creativity, but you also like the math and science that helps support that creativity. If that describes you, get a college education in print for sure. Once you're in college, apply for scholarships. There are so many scholarships available for print students that students don't know about. So ask your professors, ask your guidance counselor, Google it, but there are a lot of scholarships out there available for you guys. Next, get internships. Get those real life experiences so that you can test drive your career just like you would test drive a car. It's absolutely invaluable. And if you end up not liking it, it's only a couple months rather than the start of your career. So internship experience is absolutely invaluable. And once you're out of college and you're in career, be curious. Pay attention to what your coworkers are doing. Listen in on, any mistakes that happen and why they happened and how they could have been prevented, and use that for yourself so that you can continue to grow. So always stay curious, always ask the why behind the answer instead of just absorbing the answer itself. And I think those things will take you far.
That's great advice. Excellent advice. I hope SPC and the management team know what they found. It looks like they found quite a gem when they hired you. So it's been a real pleasure talking to you today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. This has been real fun.
You can teach the old guys like me a couple of tricks. So nice job today. It was great talking to you.
Thank you so much.
So just in closing, this is Chris Santamassimo from OGC Solutions, the sponsor and host of the Think Factory podcast. And we had a blast today talking to Kiki Heron, who's an account manager at Specialty Print Communications in Niles, Illinois. And thanks again for joining the podcast. We'll see you next time.